What is the Khilafah? The Khilafah is state and government in Islam. What is Islam? The definition of Islam is submission to Allah. What is submission to Allah? Submission to Allah is submission to Allah as Al-Malik. In some translations in English you find Malik as king. No, we don't want that translation tonight. We're dealing with political terminology here tonight. And so Al-Malik is the sovereign. Now that's a word you'll understand. Sovereign. Lahul Mulk, sovereignty belongs to him. And so to submit to Allah in Islam is to submit to Allah as sovereign who possesses sovereignty. To submit to anyone else as sovereign, to declare that anyone else possesses sovereignty, is to say goodbye to Allah. To submit to Allah is to submit to Allah as Al-Akbar. And He reminds you that He is Al-Akbar, because every time you perform Salat, you cannot move in Salat without Allahu Akbar. Al-Akbar is the one who has supreme authority. And so the Khilafah is a state and government which submits to Allah's authority as supreme. For a Muslim to submit to anyone else and recognize his authority as supreme is to say goodbye to Allahu Akbar. Islam is to submit to Allah as Al-Hakam. The 99 names, this is one of them. Al-Hakam is the lawgiver, who not only gives the law, but his law is the supreme law. And when he makes something haram, it must be enforced as haram. And when he makes something halal, it must be enforced as halal. And so anyone who submits to any law other than Allah's law as the supreme law has said goodbye to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Hakam. This is called, in the political terminology of Islam, this is called shirk. This then was the Khilafah, a system of state and government in which Muslims could submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Malik, as Al-Akbar, as Al-Hakam. When Fir'aun declared, and of course everyone knows what Fir'aun said, Ana Rabb rabbukumul a'la. I am the one who is sovereign. I possess sovereignty. That was shirk. When he declared, Ana rabbukumul a'la, I am the one who possesses supreme authority. That was shirk. When he declared, Ana rabbukumul a'la, my law is the supreme law in the land of Egypt. That was shirk. And now you have the exclusive model. When Muslims take control of a territory in the name of Islam and establish Allah's law in that territory, there will be one Jama'ah and one Amir. That Amir, on the condition that he controls the Haramain and the Hajj, would now be the Khalifa. This universal secular state is now used to embrace all of mankind, including the world of Islam, in political globalization. So that eventually you have one government over all of mankind. Eventually the Jews will now rule the world using that structure. That's about to happen. We already made significant progress towards that day. The God of Abraham alayhi salam could make something haram. But we, the state, can change that and make it halal. Meaning, legalize it. If I am wrong, get up and correct me. Get up and correct me. We can change it and make it halal, meaning legalize it. And that is what Europe proceeded to do. Everything that Allah had made haram, they made it halal. There's nothing left now. Surah At-Tawbah of the Quran. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم اتخذوا أحبارهم وَرَهْبَانَهُمْ أَرْبَابًا مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. They took their priests and their rabbis as arbab, lords and gods beside Allah. وَالْمَسِيحَ ابْنَ مَرْيَمَ, and they did the same thing with the Messiah, the son of Mary. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا يَعْبُدُوا إِلَهًا وَاحِدًا, but they had not been commanded other than to worship one God. La ilaha illahu, there is no God beside him. Subhanahu, glory be to him. Amma yushrikun, far removed is he from this act of shirk, taking your priests and your rabbis as gods and lords beside Allah. Shirk, says Allah. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, O Messenger of Allah, but the Christians do not worship their priests and the Jews do not worship their rabbis. How could Allah say so? To which the Prophet ﷺ replied, and he said, did they not make halal what Allah had made haram? That is their shirk. My question tonight, Lakemba, is this. If the priest and the rabbi make halal what Allah made haram, and that is shirk, then if the government does the same thing, would it not be shirk? You're very quiet tonight, aren't you, Lakemba? When a Muslim pledges his allegiance to the modern secular state, to its constitution, which declares that Allah is no longer Al-Malik, no longer Al-Akbar, no longer Al-Hakam. The state is now Al-Malik, Al-Akbar and Al-Hakam. And the state can make halal what Allah made haram. When a Muslim pledges his allegiance, you've got to do that to get citizenship. Oh yeah, can't get a US passport without pledging allegiance. When you do that, you commit shirk. If you don't believe me, no problem, no problem. When you reach the grave, then you'll see. When a Muslim goes and votes in the elections to constitute the government which will preside over this shirk, you enter into shirk. But if you don't believe me and you want to go and vote in the election, I am not stopping you. So don't let there be any bad blood between us. I'm not stopping you. But when you enter in the grave and you find that you've entered into shirk, do not plead ignorance, that's all. Stand up like a man and take it from that day. This is now the universal shirk that the Prophet ﷺ had prophesied. He said the time would come when shirk will be everywhere, be so difficult to recognize it. However, as difficult as it would be to recognize a black ant on a black stone on a dark night.